Hello, ladies and gentlemen, to a brand new episode of the ME Show. My name is Ali Midal. We are here at the ME Studios with a special guest. My goodness, you are in for a treat. If you are the kind of person who loves love, unity, positivity across the board, well, I got a true butterfly in here, and you'll understand why I'm giving that reference. This young lady is not only the founder, president, and executive director of the Trueness Project, but she is leading a global mission right now as we speak, truly all over the world, where she is bringing about hope, where she's bringing about positive change and absolutely creating unity. She's on a mission to break in a Guinness World Record as we speak, and you're going to hear a whole lot about this, but I'm actually excited because she is physically here with us. We connected about 2 years ago, almost 3 years at this point, via a gentleman, a brother from another mother, Rex Sykes. We love you, Rex. Shout out to you. And we've connected on a webinar that led to a conversation. And we've always tried to figure out, how can we connect? How can we work? And I am privileged, and I have the opportunity in here to partner up and collaborate on bringing this mega event that we're going to be talking a whole lot about today to you. And I know for a fact that you're going to be inspired and motivated. So make sure you stick with us. Make sure you listen attentively, and I got some giveaways. So you're definitely going to want to stay with us all the way to the end. If this is your very first time, my name is Ali Midawi, founder and CEO of the ME Studios, and I am definitely excited to bring a rock star, a superstar, a shining hero or shiro for many across the globe. Ladies and gentlemen, for the very, and certainly not the last time, the one and only Teresa Lawrence. Yeah. What's going on, Rockstar? Absolutely.
Thank you so much for having me.
Kidding me? The privilege is ours. So first and foremost, thank you so much for gracing us with your physical presence. I know that you travel the world. I know that you got books and you got speaking gigs and you got seminars and trainings and just so much going on. But you hit me up a couple of days ago. You're like, I'm going to be in New York. I'm like, I am capturing you in here. You are my hostage. You got to get your butt in here. We got to do some work together. So thank you for giving me the opportunity to share this platform with you today.
Oh, thank you so much. It's such a pleasure to be here. And it was fun making time for this to happen.
Yes. And especially more fun when it's impromptu, right?
Yeah.
Like it's good that way. So let's dive into where this passion, the heartbeat of what you do. I know that we can talk about the model of the nonprofit. I know we can talk about the Trueness Project. I know we can talk about all the beautiful things, and we will. But I want to know about you. Tell me a little bit about your growing up. Where did this human being that is in front of me, this angel walking amongst us, how she's become the butterfly that she is today? Talk to us.
Well, I think we're all butterflies. But for me, we all go through things and we all learn. And my passion and my mission started for me as a child because I'm an immigrant. Like many people listening. And so my story is this. When I was 3 years old, I watched my parents' house be taken away from them. I watched my father being thrown into prison. And it was simply because he didn't believe in communism. My family is Cuban. And because he didn't believe in communism, his co-workers, people that he had spent his life with, reported him, and he taught medicine at the University of Havana. And in the span of a week, he had lost his job. He had been thrown in prison. And thereafter, my mother lost her job and we lost the house. We lost everything. And he had a choice point then of what is he going to do? Is he going to, wallow away in prison, which he could have, because they make doctors work in the most treacherous circumstances if they're put in prison, or he could leave the country. And he chose to leave the country with 4 kids with nothing. So at that moment, and I didn't realize it then, but I realized it later, I learned that you can have anything and everything taken away from you except for the power of your mind and your education. And of those two things, I believe that the power of your mind is more important because people have we know a lot of educated people that do nothing. And so at that point, we left Cuba, we got to the US. I'm the youngest of 4 kids, and there aren't many families that can take in 6 people. In our case, nobody could take in 6 people, so we split up. And I ended up living with strangers. And that was very painful. And for me, I remember that. And I remember feeling victimized at the time, and then realizing that I had the power of story and that my father had made a choice for all of us to have a better life. And and so I learned how to retell the story of my experiences, not as a victim, but as a heroine on a miraculous ride. This was all a grand adventure. And as I got older in the last few years, I wrote a book to help the kids on the border because I saw kids on the border. COVID dismantled families. You have a lot, and then the wars happened. So we had a lot more of immigrant children, displaced children, and I wanted to help them. So that is my why. I wanted to help them. I wrote a book. It's called Gloriousness. It's available on Amazon. Everybody has heard the story. There's a child that's very messy. Her name is Ness. She starts as a mess, and then she chooses her story, and she decides to be Gloriousness.
Oh, I
So
love
that's
that.
so that's the why behind this. And I wanted to give out the book, and I had no presence. I didn't know how to speak in public. And I went on a keynote speakers tour to Kenya, and I fell in love with the country, and I realized I have skills and I can really impact lives and change people's lives for the better through the power of transformational leadership. And that is my why. I don't want kids to think that they are victims of their circumstances. They are powerful, they are resilient, and they have the power of story. We all do. We rewrite that story each and every day, and it's our choice, and it's our birthright to share our stories and be glorious and to really embrace that power of God that was given to us.
Are you not entertained? Check this out, man. I've taken notes, and there are so many more questions that I have for you, but let me dive right in. I knew the background, the Cuba, being an immigrant. I knew that side. I did not know as deep as you've taken us right now. I mean, talking about first of all, the separation. I'm an immigrant, but I'm grateful that I've never had to deal with, the communism and the challenges that came along with it, and being thrown in prison and all that. But the one thing that I can say is I don't know how I would react to, at the time when I came to the United States. I was 16 years old, and I came with my 3 siblings, my sister and my 2 brothers. I don't know how I would have reacted to being separated from my family. Is that something that you had to kind of heal and grow with? Talk to us about that emotional roller coaster.
So when you're a child and you are left, and I was little, I was 3.5, you feel abandoned. You feel that you're not worthy. And I honestly felt like my parents had forgotten me. And that was deeply painful inside. And it was a story. That wasn't the truth, because the truth is immigrant parents want the best for their children. Every mother wants the best for their children. But when you experience something like this as a child, you make up stories. We all make up stories. Everything is a story. And you really have to train your mind to say, no, that's not the truth. But your emotions are still there, and they're still inside of you. And it takes a lot of healing, a lot of reflection. In fact, I just finished a true reflection event where you look inward and you say, what is the truth? What is my truth? And it changes. That's why the symbol of the butterfly is so amazing, because you have a perspective as a child, and then you get older and you can look back at an experience and say, okay, that happened, and I'm giving power to people that hurt me by still holding on to that. And really, this is why transformational leadership is so important. Go back into your life and ask yourself a question. How much time are you giving to the people that hurt you? Because they're certainly not thinking about you. And each time you go back to a story in sadness and you don't release it, you are giving power to people that hurt you. Wouldn't it be beautiful if you gave yourself your power back? That's why forgiveness is so beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
That's why letting go is so beautiful. That is why writing stories of being victorious and changing the world. If we all get stuck, and there is a huge part of the population in this world that is living in blame, this person is responsible for where I am right now. I say, no, that person is not responsible for where you are right now. You are responsible for where you are right now. Your thoughts, your beliefs, your stories. And I say you are worthy of love and you are worthy of wealth, regardless of anything that has ever happened to you and anything that you ever did to anyone else. Let that all go and move on. That's why the butterfly is the perfect symbol.
I love it. Yeah, let's. I think we needed to have a full seminar on this today, but I'm loving it. The idea of having a parent imprisoned and going through all that trauma, and you talked about it in a fascinating way. As far as like you try to heal from it, but the emotions are sometimes still in there. There are a lot of people who are going through their own struggle, their own issues, their own challenges, and they are numbing the pain with distractions, right? Whether it's drinking or partying, or some people just shop their way or aid their way through their emotions. How did you work on not letting your emotions trick you back into sadness and negative emotions?
The more you refuse to let an emotion flow through you, the more it stops you. The only thing an emotion has ever asked of you is to let itself be felt. Boys are told not to cry. We are told not to share our emotions, not to share our experience. And you don't have to share your experience, but when you need to cry, close the door and cry. It's the only way to get those emotions out of your body. It's the only way to break through. When you go through transformational leadership, there is something called breakthrough. And you cry yourself through that because you are letting go of all those things that are holding you back. And emotions are part of that. When you are numbing yourself with alcohol and drugs and distractions and shopping, you are just avoiding looking inwardly at something that hurts you.
Inevitable too, right? Like you keep avoiding all you want, but ultimately
it comes out.
It's going to catch up to you.
Yes.
Yeah.
And you'll find that if we don't work on ourselves, things like that come back in disease.
Mm-hmm.
There are a lot of children that are put on medications that I believe they shouldn't be on, because if they were just, talk to me, tell me what you're experiencing, tell me what you're feeling, it's okay. We don't have to judge this. We just have to let the emotions out. And it's just so helpful to do that.
Absolutely.
And so for me, I spent a great deal of time reflecting. And when I stopped blaming other people and I realized, this is my story. This is my show. It says me show.
Yeah, exactly. That's why we call it the ME show. It's all about you. It's funny that you said that too. Like our son Sebastian, he's 7.5, and we got this thing that he's learning, and he's starting to catch on to it. He'll blame his younger sister, right? Siblings, they always fight. So it's like what she said, but and I always tell him, look, it's not her fault. He was like, but she did it. I'm like, I understand, but there's a sense of responsibility you have to take in any action. There's a reaction. She's reacting to something that you've done. And he was like, I know it's for me to have the ability to respond. He understands that responsibility is simply the ability to respond. The moment you remove that responsibility away from you, you're giving your powers to something or someone else.
Exactly.
And I refuse to hinder my superpowers. I am responsible for everything that I have going on, good and or bad.
Correct.
And the blame only hurts the blamer. I don't care how you put it. Every time I say it's you did this, I'm only getting my negative frequency and that negative energy even higher and more full of rage, if you will. So I definitely appreciate the perspective. Would you say that I'm an immigrant, you're an immigrant? Do you think the amount of or high level of gratitude that we have for where we are, no matter how good or bad where we are could be, is probably because where we come from and we've experienced a different environment and different ugliness where we're like, people tell me like I'm having a bad day. I'm like, bro, you don't even know if bad day even hit you. Talk to me about that gratitude that you have based on where you've come.
I'm absolutely grateful for every moment that I have a roof over my head, that I'm able to do anything that I want to do. And you can say anything you want about the politics of this country, but the freedoms we have are phenomenal.
You can't talk trash about the country like you do here about other countries for the most part. You get picked up real quick.
And, it's wonderful to speak your mind and to tell your truth and to say what you believe. And it is a privilege and a gift that we live here. And I think many people have forgotten that, and they're always complaining about this and that in the government. Well, we live in a beautiful place. It has laws. It is generally peaceful. And I'm really happy that I'm here.
Yeah. No, I love that. And you travel the world, and, we're going to talk about that in a second. We were going through your website earlier and looking at all the events that you've done in Nepal and Kenya, here in the United States, in different parts. And, you travel China, and you told us earlier a story about George Yang. And what gives you the drive to still say every single day, I'm going to do this again, and I'm going to break a Guinness World Record?
Honestly, I believe in a higher power. And last year, I I couldn't stop doing what I was doing. And it felt like God's hand was just guiding me. I mean, that's the honest truth. I believe we're on this earth to uplift each other. But starting about 2 years ago, I realized that I really had a gift for putting the right people together and putting a spotlight on things that needed to change. And that's what happened. I do think that I am here to uplift my neighbors, my friends, and honestly, the world. I want to change the way philanthropy gets done, and I really want to have a huge impact on this planet.
I mean, it should be the GED of all of us, right? Why do you think most people don't have the heartbeat that you have and the mindset that you have?
Because they're still in their sadness. They haven't accepted their power. And so their story isn't one of greatness yet. But I can't give them that story. I can just say, hey, come join me on the fun side of the island. Yeah. It's your life to live. It's your life to claim. It's your story to write. And I can't write that story for you. This is your life. Decide what you want to do with it. And my book is called Gloriousness. I always say, choose your gloriousness, choose your path, and have it be your true path. That's why the Trueness Project is called the Trueness Project. It's all about living your inner truth, not your parents' truth, not the church's truth, not your neighbor's truth, your truth. What makes you happy? Pursue that, and your life will change.
Yeah, and I love the fact, and the real truth is that we all know our own truth. We just don't have sometimes the courage or whatever the trauma that we've lived in the past that stops us from actually saying, I know where I belong and what I should be doing. We just don't do it for whatever reason or another. And I believe it usually comes back to healing. When you heal whatever past trauma that you have, you eliminate the future anxieties, because trauma is just past pain that you are reliving over and over and over and over again. Anxiety is made up pain that never existed, that you think will happen in the future, that you are bringing upon you. So living in the moment brings us back to that trueness that you were talking about.
Exactly. And that's why the disarming, dressing up as a butterfly, half the people I speak to think I'm insane, but there is something beautiful about doing something so weird and fun with a group of strangers, because you'll remember that for the rest of your life. It is uncomfortable to dress up as a butterfly. People might look at you. Imagine that. They might laugh at you. And the best part, you might laugh at yourself. It is just so fun. It is so out of the box. It is so uniting that you've done something, not just with strangers around you, but with people around the world, because people want to have fun. They want to be in community. And I'm offering that to the world.
World, are you listening? This is something that I can feel your positive energy, by the way. And it's usually 99% of the people that we work with, or, our entrepreneur one-on-one, like they're coming with a mission of like, I need to get into your network, Ali, and get some money out of your network, right? I need somebody to buy my stuff. You're coming in here as a go-giver. And I genuinely appreciate that about you. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to take a little break. After we do come back from our break, we're going to dive into the actual organization itself, into how the world can participate, into the ins and outs of what everybody needs to understand, just just to give a level of
Okay.
awareness that is necessary for everybody to take part of the Trueness Project. This is Ali Midawi, the ME Show. We'll be right back.
Hey everyone, it's Teresa Lawrence, the President and Executive Director of the Trueness Project. I am excited to invite you all to Jackson Hole, Wyoming on June 28th, 2025. On that date, the Trueness Project will be hosting the largest gathering of butterflies in history, human butterflies. We are all going to dress up as butterflies and go for a world record to promote world peace. The butterfly is the quintessential symbol of transformation, and that is what my nonprofit is all about. We teach transformational leadership around the world, and we are change makers. And I believe that on June 28th, 2025, a worldwide group of change makers can get together and raise the vibration of this planet. On June 28th, I invite you to join me in Jackson Hole, Wyoming in person, and to join me virtually around the world so that we may all dress up as butterflies, have a great time, and shatter a world record. Join me, be part of history. Let's make this flutter the largest flutter in history.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. This is Ali Midawi with the ME Show. Are you excited? I can tell you right now, if you're not smiling to yourself right now, just because of this positive energy that is driving you, I don't know what would get you going. I'm hoping that you're listening to this early in the morning to start your day just the proper way. And if you're listening to it before you go to sleep, that is good too. Just make sure, please, if you are in your car, pay attention to the road. You got to drive responsibly, right? All right, we're back in here with the one and only Teresa Lawrence. And we're talking about the Trueness Project, and we're talking about these events that you started doing and traveling all around the world. Let's talk about it. You've gone in Nepal, you've gone in Kenya, you've done a Jackson, Wyoming event, you've done just so many different things. What inspired? First of all, talk to us about the organization and the Grand Butterfly event itself. Tell us a little bit more about that.
Okay, so the Trueness Project is all about living in truth and authenticity with yourself. That's why transformational leadership is so important. And we teach transformational leadership around the world, but our main focus is giving people back their power of storytelling, right? Because your power is in the word, because the word creates dreams into reality. And the butterfly is the symbol of transformation. It doesn't know when it's going to transform. It's had a very rough life, and then the clock strikes, and the next thing you know, it literally dissolves and it emerges as a beautiful butterfly. And the best part about the butterfly is it can't see its wings, and so it has no ego. Can you imagine a life where you had no ego? But back to the Trueness Project, my goal was to give out books, and that turned into a goal of teaching transformational leadership around the world. I love the book Think and Grow Rich. Part of my mission is to give it out because I do believe that we are worthy of love and we are all worthy of wealth, regardless of what has happened to us. And in my leadership program, I take the kids through learning leadership, learning financial fitness, and learning a bit of magic. So I do have the alchemist as part of our training program because it's so fun, because it teaches the world. The universe is conspiring to help you. It simply is. But in Kenya, we're doing so many amazing things. And I want to share with you all, before I get to the butterfly event, that in February, we chose one of the premier girls' schools. And I asked them to pick 20 top writers, top students. And each of those 20 girls are writing a chapter in a book. And we are creating a book written by them, for them, on leadership, their interpretation of leadership. And I'm going to present the book to them in February. It's never been done. And it's a huge event for them in Kenya. I feel I have really transformed the lives of 20 beautiful women and have really opened up the doors for leadership. And after I present them with the book, they're going to travel the country talking about leadership, true, authentic Kenyan leadership. It's empowering for women. It teaches them, how to write a book, how to put it together, because it was a big project for them and they did it all together. And it's just beautiful. And that is an example of one of the things that we do. We also pay tuition for students each month. We donate to a different school, and it's just beautiful to see these children just being so appreciative and just taking advantage of the opportunities that are in front of them. It is very sad to have brilliant children um, lacking access to education, and we're providing that. So I want to talk about that. And then in Nepal, we buy clothes for children and we give tuition assistance as well. And we're supporting a school that has partnered with us, and so we're very excited about that. And in March, I'm doing philanthropy tourism in Nepal, and we're taking a group of people to hike to base camp at Everest, and $500 of each person's trip will go to the nonprofit, to the school that we are helping in Nepal, and that's very exciting. So now back to the butterfly event. The butterfly event is so important to me because the symbol of the Trueness Project is the butterfly, because we are at once a work of art and a work in progress, and that's life. To say that if you say that you are perfect exactly as you are, you might as well, dig a grave and die, because we are all constantly transforming, and if we are not expanding and growing, we're dying. And the butterfly is that symbol. And so what I proposed to do last year was get people to know. In fact, I got stopped at the airport. They're like, "You're the butterfly lady." I loved it. Every time somebody sees a butterfly, I want them to think about the Trueness Project and the fact that we are telling people that you are all butterflies, you are all beautiful, you are all transforming into better versions of yourself. And on June 28th, 2025, in Jackson, we are doing the whole event again. Last year, the event started, because it's a worldwide event, it started with the Maasai tribe and a chant that they made. And it was so beautiful, it took me to tears. Then it went to Nepal. Then it went to Australia. Then I got more pictures from Kenya. It was like you could feel the vibration. It was beautiful. And then when we got to Jackson, we even had donkeys. No, it was miniature horses dressed as monarch butterflies. I mean, it was hysterical. We even had dogs. Dogs were wearing wings. We had, we had bubble machines, and we had kids dancing, and we had kids doing art, and it was so fun. And then we got together, and we all were dressed up as butterflies, and we went into the pen, and then we danced so massively. We were a huge flutter, and we actually marched, hence the butterfly march.
I was going to say,
we
like
marched,
butterflies.
We marched in the I call it the pen, the butterfly pen. But what was beautiful about that, so butterflies come in all sorts of colors. The Trueness Project, I have a mission to go around the world and helping people. I believe we all judge people by their color or their age or where they're from.
Something physical.
Yeah. And the truth is, butterflies come in all different colors, and they're beautiful. And people come in all different colors, and we're beautiful. And we have to embrace that. And that's what the event is about. And last year, there was so much war happening on the planet that it felt like we were at a choice point. We're always at a choice point. But last year, before the election, we were at a choice point. I mean, I'm saying last year, it's this year, right?
But the last political season, yeah.
Yeah, it felt like at any given point.
Two separate countries.
Yeah, it felt like something was going to happen. And I couldn't stop doing the event. And I kept saying, we need to pray for peace. We need to pray for peace. We need to pray for peace. And I sent that message, to everybody. I was like the Muslim community, the Jewish community, every community got a letter from me saying, pray for peace and show up and dress as a butterfly. And people did, because they understood we are not separate people. We are human. It doesn't matter our background, our religion, our culture. We are here. We are here to uplift each other. We have so much more in common that we have not in common, that let us rejoice and have fun in unity. And that's what the flutter is all about.
Well, I'll tell you, I was taught by was it Dennis Waitley? Well, one of the gentlemen from the Secret, and a child asked, why is that kid looking different than I am? Why is that kid, black, white, Spanish? It was a specific description of the skin color or the tone or the shape of the body, right? And the best way that I've ever heard, and I tell my son all the time, because our kids are 7.5 and 4.5, they're just growing up. They don't understand the complexity of the world that we live in, and I would like to raise them in a way that they can see the good in it, right? So the best way it was described is, think about all of us as balloons. We come in different shapes, different sizes, different colors, but inside of us, it's the same helium that makes us all rise to the top. And as long as we have helium and we are next to each other, we are fun and we rise together. And I was like, that is a powerful way to put it together. And I appreciate that you're using kind of like the same concept, but with butterflies, different colors, different. I mean, one butterfly is usually cute. We try to make sure that we just connect with that moment. But when you have all these butterflies together flying, it's such a moment, right?
Yeah. Last year, we released 200 native butterflies, and the children loved it. Oh, it was magical. Absolutely magical. And in 2025, we have a butterfly pavilion going in. So it's going to be even more magical because everybody gets to walk through and experience the butterflies. And yes, we're going to release them. right.
How many are we expecting to release?
I think between 400 and 500 this year.
Cool.
So it's going to be spectacular and magical, and we're going to have bubbles and all this fun stuff.
Let's go. This gonna and this event is for children as well. It's not just
yes. In fact, it's more for children than it is for grown-ups. But I want grown-ups to act like children because it's fun. We're all kids.
Yeah, you'll hear me a lot referring to Sebastian, our 7.5-year-old. He's my little genius. He always says, "Papa, just so you know, there is no such thing as kids and adults. We are all kids. We just grow up. It's like we just become bigger, but you are a kid." And I was like, "What makes you say that?" He's like, "Well, you fight over PlayStation with me. You tell me it's my turn and you gotta have to wait." It's like, so you are just a big child. And I'm like, you got a point there.
It's like, what happens to adults? They forget to be children. And I've got news for you. Imagination and play is how all inventions happen. People think I'm weird, but I'm not weird. I'm just remembering what it's like to be a child. And a child doesn't know limitations. Like all of these inventions, all of these new technologies are people coming back to their imagination and saying, I thought of it. I can do that. I can create that. And yeah, you fail along the way, but you're creating it. And being a child in a playground is the best place to imagine a better future.
I love it. And Steve Jobs always used to say, it's the people who are perceived to be crazy with crazy ideas, who have crazy imaginations, who actually end up changing the world. So I welcome crazy any day with my beautiful, positive ideas. I was looking at the website and I saw the multiple. I mean, we're talking about an international affair in here. We're not just talking about a small regional thing. We got Jackson, Wyoming. We got, from what I saw in here, Colombia, the country. We got Nepal. We got the Messiah tribe, New York, West Virginia, Connecticut, Los Angeles, Vienna, Houston, North Carolina, Australia, Pinedale, Wyoming again. We got Arizona, Nantucket, California, Florida, Illinois, Kenya. And I got to ask, where are we going next?
We're going worldwide. I really want people from all around the world to participate. If you dress up as a butterfly and you send me your picture, I will put you on that website. Stand up for transformation. Stand up for you. Stand up for the beautiful butterfly that you are, for the better version of yourself that you are. Stand up for a beautiful, transformed world where love, community exists together. Let's do this. We can do this around the world. The world record attempt will happen in Jackson, Wyoming in person. But last year I declared a Trueness Project world record because it was a world record. Nobody had ever done what I did.
Yeah.
So all those people, I already have a world record, but I want more. I want this thing to go global around the planet because the more there are more people that want peace, that want love, that want to raise their kids the way you describe you're raising your kids. There are so many people that want a better world, and those people usually stay silent. They don't say anything.
Yeah.
It's the people that are in darkness, that have fear, that really want power over other people. They're always screaming. We're not screaming. We're dressing up as butterflies and having fun, and we're actually changing the world.
And ladies and gentlemen, just FYI, the Trueness Project is a registered 501c3 nonprofit organization. This is not something that Teresa, we're going to stick with the brand, is saying, let's just do a Facebook group and get some people together. No, this is an actual nonprofit organization that is registered. And because of her ambition of achieving a world record, we're gonna match that energy. Here's what we're going to do. As you know, the ME Studios, we are involved in multiple companies and projects, and one of our companies is a travel company. And what we're going to do, and I hope you appreciate this for you, the listener, anyone who registers for this event that is happening in Wyoming and attends in person, we are going to have this big QR code in the registration table. And here's what you're going to get when you attend in person and register it. You're going to receive a comped 5 nights, 6 days, all-inclusive trip to either Mexico or anywhere in the Caribbean. It covers your lodging, it covers your food, and it covers your drinking. Hopefully you drink responsibly. And guess what? 4 nights, 6 days, all inclusive. We are comping the whole trip. Now, guess what? The only thing you got to cover, because legally we cannot take care of your taxes, I would comp that for you as well. Just like when you win the lottery or a car, they say you got to still pay for your taxes, right? But just so you know, well, how much are the taxes? On average, $250 total, not per night, not per person. And we're going to give it to every single person that attends and shows up in person. Remember, this is an all-inclusive, just for showing up, registered, and attending the actual event itself. There will be a QR code that you're going to scan, and then you just put your first name, last name, and email, and you immediately are going to receive your vacation credit. Now, we are not a timeshare company. We don't sell your information. No one is going to call you. No one is going to blast you with emails. You literally are going to get the trip that is comped for you. You're going to enjoy it, come back home, have a good life. We'll never talk ever again unless you wanted to talk to you. But you got to attend in person. And if 1,000 people show up to this event, we will give 1,000 vacations. It is literally a $3,000 comped vacation per each room. So hopefully that gives a little push.
Thank you so much.
Oh, no,
I'm just so grateful.
Don't thank me until we go around the world, right? We said we're going to go all around the world.
Yes.
Cool. We want to put our mouth where our money is. What do they say? Put your money where your mouth is. The other way around. Me, no English sometimes kicks in here. Ali is always and ever going to be an immigrant. But that's what we're going to do. But A, you got to register. So make sure you go to that website so you can register. And B, make sure that you attend in person. You will not say, oh, well, I registered, so therefore, where's my vacation? You got to attend in person, because the goal is not for you to register. The goal is for you to be part of the movement, to increase that positive energy, to increase unity, to increase hope and positive change. And we here at the ME Studios, we're absolutely going to do our part as well. So I am telling you right now, until the day of the event, any and every single human being that's going to show up in there registered and obviously attending, that QR code will be live and it will be exclusive available for you.
Oh, thank you so much. I so appreciate it. And so I want to share with everybody that that was just so beautiful. Thank you, Holly. I want to share with everybody that a group of butterflies is called a flutter. And so when you enter and register, you have officially entered the Flutterverse.
The Flutterverse. That is, you talk about, and don't take this the wrong way. I know you won't, because your heart is pure. Every time I think Teresa, and I know we talked about it earlier, it's Maria Teresa, but I think of Mother Teresa. Just the movement that you are making, I think you could be really as impactful, because you're not asking for personal gain. You're actually doing it just for the sake of the movement, and that is something that's definitely phenomenal. And we are excited to be part of your journey. All right, we got a little beautiful warm tears in here. We're gonna take a little break so we can get a little water and get right back at it. We'll be right back. Remember, go to that website that you're going to be seeing in your screen. Make sure you register, and you gotta attend in order to get your 5-night, 6-day all-inclusive lodging, food, and beverage, a $3,000 comped vacation for you in a 5-star resort, either in Mexico or in the Caribbean. We'll take a quick break, and we'll be right back.
Hey everyone, it's Teresa Lawrence, President and Executive Director of the Trueness Project. My nonprofit teaches transformational leadership around the world. Presently, we are doing work in Kenya and we're doing work in Nepal. And as part of our mission, we do philanthropy tourism. That means we take a group of people to a part of the world we want to have huge impact on, and we have fun. Because I believe that when you have fun in doing something that you love, you really raise the vibration of the place that you're going to, and you have huge impact. $500 of each person's trip to each of these places goes directly to a nonprofit that we support. And in Kenya, it goes to schools, and in Nepal, it helps a school that is helping the children learn skills that they can offer later on in life. Right now, sex trafficking is a huge problem in Nepal. And with our philanthropy tourism, we're trying to bring people to Nepal to enjoy life. So we are going to hike to base camp at Everest. But at the same time, since each member of the trip donates $500 to the nonprofit, we are in fact having a huge impact. And we're helping this school protect kids and teach them skills so that they will not be trafficked. So I invite you all to join me. The trip is March 1st to March 15th. And if you're in shape and this is on your bucket list, join us, because we are going to have a great time and we're going to have huge impact, and we are going to help a lot of children.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Ali Midad with the ME Show. Hey, did you register? No? All right, cool. I'll give you permission. If you're not driving, pause me. Register. I'll wait. Okay, welcome back. How was that registration? Huh? Pretty simple, pretty easy. And remember, you gotta attend to get the 5-night, 6 days all-inclusive trip. Obviously, taxes and transportation not included, but we will cover the food, the drink, and the lodging itself. So the moment you get there, have at it. You'll never take out a credit card or cash out of pocket. All right, we did it. Okay, let's talk about the future of the Trueness Project, the future of this event. What do you envision, and what should we expect from Her Highness, the angel walking amongst us?
You're so sweet. I have such huge visionary plans for the Trueness Project. And so it was this year, I walked the largest slum in all of Kenya. It's called the Kibera slums. And while I was there, I had beautiful conversations with Wes Chandler, the ex-NFL player, NFL great, and he travels the world, and he does many things. He's just a brilliant man. But one of the things he does is start flag football leagues around the world, because flag football is going to be an Olympic sport in 2028. And so I got a hold of him when I came back from Kenya, and I said, hey, would you be willing to do this in Kenya for the kids in the slums, or just in Kenya? And he wrote back, not just for the kids in the slums, let's do this for all of Kenya, and let's spread this through Africa. So right now, I am waiting to get permission from the Kenyan government to move forward on this. But it's a beautiful, beautiful initiative. And I was on the plane coming to the East Coast, and I watched the movie Cool Runnings about the Jamaican bobsled team that went to the Olympics. And I had this vision of the Kenyan flag football team attending the Olympics in Los Angeles in 2028. And I was going to be in the Kenyan box, and all of our sponsors were going to be in the Kenyan box. And it was just a beautiful initiative. And so with that one, I'm looking for ex-NFL players that want to mentor the kids. I'm looking for sponsors. I'm looking for people all over the world that want their kids to be in an Olympic sport to reach out to me, because this is beyond Kenya. This is all of Africa. We are giving an opportunity for countries to go to the Olympics, to share that vision with the kids. But as part of that, they get mentorship, they get leadership training, they learn how to run a sports business. It's a beautiful idea, and it's timely. And I love sports. Sports change the world. They teach discipline, they teach goal setting, they teach accomplishment, and they teach people how to deal with failure, because failure is part of life. So that initiative on its own is amazing. I have many more. If you
give me some more. I like. There's a song by Busta Rhymes that's gonna give me some more. Like he rhymes a little bit and says, "Give me some more." So I'm gonna be that. Give me some more. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so the nonprofit is just loves transformational leadership, the power of story, and I do have a list of books that I make the kids go through to learn about mastering vision and taking steps towards their goals, but also financial fitness. And one of the things that I'm almost ready to sign is a mutual order of understanding, some sort of contract. You're listening to this with the Kenyan National Library, so that we could get the books in without paying tax, because it's a huge burden. In all of these countries, you want to do goodness, you want to donate books.
Then there's the burden of the costs associated with it.
But then you have tax. So not only, even if I get the books donated, I ship them, but then I have to pay the cost of the books to get them in. And so we're signing that, and we are eliminating the tax. But I want to build a leadership library in Kenya, and have people go to Kenya and teach leadership. It would be wonderful if you came and you talked about the power of media and what you do. It is just a beautiful idea, and it's timely. And what I'm looking for with that is publishers to donate leadership books. I have a list of books, a specific list of books that I want, and then other books, transformational books that are going to help. And I want authors to say, hey, I'm willing to go and speak to the kids, because I know what it's like to write a book, to learn about leadership, to position myself and to move forward, because they just need a vision of what they can be. And they need to know that they can do it. And there are so many authors in the United States in particular that come from nothing, and that just, exploded onto the scene. Yeah. And so that initiative is beautiful. And we just sent 500 books from the Napoleon Hill Foundation.
Hey, shout out to the Napoleon Hill Foundation. Adora Evans, we love you. Let's go, Ms. President.
And I don't think she's president anymore.
Oh, not president anymore, but shout out to the foundation.
Yes, and to Don Green, who has been so gracious.
Don Green is amazing.
Yeah. And so really, and they were exquisite Think and Grow Rich books, like the hardcover. So that was a learning process of getting them in, but I really wanted that book to be our first contribution into Kenya. And so we did that, and we're going to do that all over the world, but that's the first stop. What else is happening in Kenya? There's so many things.
I can't wait to connect you with so many people, by the way, because one of our partners is launching, it's called Virtual Verse. They're launching a live streaming and social media platform right now as we speak. They're putting a lot of money into technology, but they're launching also a children-only social media platform.
Oh, that's beautiful.
And it's obviously for the right reasons, to make sure they don't commingle adults. Content, there's a lot of craziness right now on the digital space. So it's going to be extremely filtered just for kids. Okay. Obviously, you, the parent, you're going to have access to it and whatnot. And I want to connect you because they're creating separate channels, like an educational channel, an animated caricature channel, fun, painting, all these different channels. And I think it will be a very strategic partnership for you to figure out how we can put you along to have your own channel for the children in the other part of the world. So I can't wait to connect you as well.
So I had a vision of like the little kids. They do fabulous painting, the fabulous stories, and usually at schools around third grade, they all do like a Christmas book or a Hanukkah book or this and that and the other, and it's really a lot of books. But if they could do it digitally and have their work up and then get together and share their stories, there are skills that people need. Like I did not have the skill of public speaking. I could not be here a year ago. I mean,
I
Ollie,
remember, I mean, you
Ollie,
talked, you
yeah.
were like, I don't know, I'm nervous.
You know, Ollie knows this is a love of what I'm doing more than the fear of
You're
whatever I
making it
had.
look so good,
Yeah.
by the way. People are going to listen right now like, she makes it look easy.
But the truth is, public speaking is a skill you need.
Yeah.
And giving a platform for kids to say, hey, this is a story I wrote, you know, and to love on them for doing goodness, because the universe is listening. You need to celebrate your successes, and we don't celebrate enough for the kids. So I mean, it's the truth. It's like they're an afterthought, but they and I get that everybody has the same experience in that respect, but it's joyous when you teach children to celebrate themselves, because it makes all the difference in the world.
One question that I'm pretty sure somebody could have, and I'm intrigued, what caught your heart in terms of doing the work that you're doing in different parts of the world? And obviously there's a lot of passion when you talk about the African region. Why there? And a lot of people will be like, well, why aren't you doing that very same work here? You know, why Africa and not in the United States?
When I was going to give out the book, I realized I couldn't do it. Nobody was going to know my name. I had no social media. I had no skills in public speaking. In fact, I have a law degree from Columbia University, and I spent my life doing special needs trusts for families because we have disabled people in my family. And I was always hiding. I didn't want to be seen because I was still that immigrant child that had come to the US, and I didn't belong, and I didn't want to be seen. And what happened was I wrote the children's book, and I needed to get it out. And I said, I have no public speaking skills. And there was a keynote speakers tour with a man named David Fagan and Top Talent.
Shout out to David Fagan. I'm on your email list, David. I get him every day.
No. It was a beautiful gift to me. And I think a beautiful gift to Kenya, because I've always wanted to help the world. But what happened was, in fact, God bless David. David, this is a shout out to you, because I got on a plane. I had never spoken in public before. I got on a plane. I landed about 8:30 in the morning. And at 11:30 that day, I was speaking in front of 500 Kenyan students, and I was shaking. He has it all on tape. I was shaking like a leaf. And I looked at him, and I knew what he was thinking. He's like, holy cannoli, what have I done? I let this woman on my tour. But it was like public speaking boot camp. We spoke at so many schools, and by the end I was speaking in front of 10,000 kids, and I was okay. I mean, I was still shaking, but it was like walking into that fear at the highest possible levels and realizing I wasn't going to die
and walking out with a superpower.
No, it was incredible. So thank you, David. And then what happened after that, I realized that another gift happened to me. I live in Wyoming in the middle of nowhere. I get my internet through the Starlink, Elon Musk's Starlink, and I have a generator because I have to. I mean, I truly live in the middle of nowhere. My office is a covered wagon, and we live in a cabin. We splice wood, we haul the wood, we put it in. And when I got to Kenya, I felt very comfortable with everybody there. And I realized they all live the same way I was presently living.
So it was a relatable moment that made you say, these are my people. Just
and also they were loving on me. Like I could not have grown as much as I had in that moment, but I fell in love with the entire country, and I realized I had skills that could help them. My training as a lawyer became very helpful. I sat on the board of the largest nonprofit in Central Oregon for many years. That became relevant. They had all of these different leadership issues. And what the other thing that happened was the press interviewed me because, they felt like I was courageous. And they said, what do you think should be taught in schools? And I've always had a curriculum. I've always taught leadership. And I said, leadership needs to be taught in all the schools, because you can have all the education in the world and you still do not know what to do with it. And many students graduate and they don't know how to budget. They don't know how to set goals, and they just live paycheck to paycheck. And
matter of fact, I believe 60 to 70% of college graduates do not work in the field that they graduated from. And more than half usually change their focus of study within their second year in college.
So it's perfect. So leadership is a standalone thing that everybody needs. You need to set goals. You need to know how to budget. You need to know how to set things, and things happen and you need to reset. and the press loved it, and I ended up on the news in Kenya. So all it's like it's I don't know, it butterflied.
Yeah, the cocoon has come up to be a butterfly in that very same moment. What is, a lot of time, I believe that there are a lot of people or organizations or such that hate for no reason, and it seems that you are spreading just love for no reason. When it's all said and done, what do you want to be remembered? Do you even care about the idea of legacy? Do you what do you want to leave behind when it's time for you to transfer and transition to the next world?
I want to leave a legacy of goodness. I want people to actually live their lives and not somebody else's lives. Because of the time I was born and the immigrant thing, I was living other people's lives. We are taught we are supposed to take care of our families. And the truth is, if you take care of yourself first, you can then take care of your family. If you give everything you have of yourself to someone else, there's not going to be a you left. You must take care of your body. You must take care of your mental health. You must take care of your finances. And then you can help other people. You're not being cruel or unkind by saying no. And so the legacy I want to leave is I want people to live their true lives. I want happy, fulfilled people. There are people working at their jobs right now that hate their jobs.
Yep.
Why are they there?
Every Monday, heart attacks increase by 40%. Every Monday morning.
Imagine a world where people actually worked at a job that they liked.
Yeah.
Why aren't we teaching that to the kids?
Yep. No, I completely 100%. We got a local pizzeria shop right next to us, a Bello Pizzeria. Shout out to you guys. And, we were talking whenever last time I was in there, and, he's like, hey, I noticed when you use your card, it says on their system, crypto card, so I'm like, yeah, we put our, money in our wallets in crypto. He's like, man, I'm a business owner and I have a Roth IRA. He's like, but I've never been taught. Would you mind sharing me like the top just few tips? And so I share with him. He's like, why aren't they teaching this stuff in our schools? He's like, if I was taught this in school, life will be completely different. And to your point, when we went to school, the school system, especially here in the United States, is not designed to teach you how to be innovative, creative, entrepreneur, or an executive director of a nonprofit organization. We are taught how to write a resume and say, yes, sir, yes, ma'am, in something that we might not like, because we are programmed to say, I need a paycheck, not passion.
Right.
And I'm grateful to be in your presence where you are making it part of your commitment to change that as well.
No, absolutely. So I just did a true reflection retreat with Ukwela, who is a medicine man from the tribe at the base of the Grand Canyon. And he said the 4 Ps. I may forget the 4 Ps, so please forgive me, Ukwela. But he said we need presence. We need to be present in the moment. We need passion, because we must be passionate about what we do in life. We need prayer, because prayer will bring in the first 2. And we need perseverance to keep going. But he said the first 3, he said perseverance will also take care of the first 3. And it was a very powerful session with him, because it's true. We're either living in the past or we're living in the future, and we're not living in the present. And the present is really all we have. So that's why I always say, if you are thinking about other people, if you are, saying unkind things about other people, that's the past. And don't do that. Be grateful for every moment that you ever have, and be present here. I am here with Ali. I am grateful that I am here with him. I am in presence, and it just makes your life so much better if you actually experience the moment that you're in, as opposed to having your mind be somewhere else. And that's why victimhood keeps you in the past, because you're not thinking about where you are. You're thinking about something else.
Mm-hmm.
And it's taking power away from you.
And it's not even fair to you to do that to your own self. And that's why you need to have somebody, Jimmy Zell, one of our partners as well. He always says, stay close to the fire. You know,
Yeah.
like don't go in your own world, because your own thoughts are going to eat you alive sometimes if you're not in a good mindset. So stay close to the fire, meaning like stick around. You know, show up every now and then. Let us love on you, right? And I think we're,
and that's the key. Let us love on you.
That's right.
So you can love on us.
Absolutely, yeah. No, without a shadow of a doubt. Remember, folks, presence, passion, prayer, and perseverance. I know many of you are like, "What was that?" Presence, passion, prayer, and perseverance. And the last one will take care of the first three. That is my takeaway from that. This is why I love what I do. Talk about loving what you do. Look, I'm getting learned every single time. All right, as we're coming to an end of our interview, you know, some final remarks and words of encouragement, because there are a lot of people who have had a rough patch, and in some cases for decades. What is your message to that individual that is watching?
We all share the same heartbeat. You are loved, you are cherished, and you are worthy of a beautiful life. Believe in yourself. God believes in you. I believe in you. And believe in yourself, because you can transform your life. I want to share that with the world, and I want to invite everybody again to go to the Grand Butterfly Gathering on June 28th, 2025. And you know, you have many choices to donate during the holiday season. The Trueness Project is really doing amazing, amazing work around the world. And so I ask that you go to butterflymarch.com, register for the event, and then press the donate button, because each dime that you donate goes to a child in need. I don't have a salary. In fact, nobody really has a salary yet for us, and we don't intend to take one for a while. So this is the moment to step up and to help a child in Kenya, in Nepal, and you know, soon we're going to do a little caravan to North Carolina and see what we can do there, you know, to help the hurricane victims. So we plan to take the Trueness Project globally, and we're so appreciative that we're here with Ali. We thank him for all of the gifts, and I just thank you for joining us for this session.
Absolutely. And keep in mind, 5 nights, 6 days, a $3,000 comped trip, not a timeshare. No one is going to sit you down and say, you need to buy. No, we don't do that. We are truly a travel company, and we're just hooking you up for doing what you should be doing anyways. But we believe in the idea of ethically bribing you to do the right thing. So we're going to give it there as soon as you show up. But remember, we register first, and then, of course, on the day of the event, you just whip out your camera. There will be a big QR code. You scan it, first name, last name, email, and then you're going to receive your gift. And, of course, your responsibility is just taking care of those taxes. And whenever you're ready to travel, of course, book your flight. So with that, ladies and gentlemen, it's been a pleasure and a privilege. Make sure that you visit butterflymarch.com, right? I was going to make sure that it wasn't a .org, butterflymarch.com, and get involved, help, assist. There's so much potential of greatness in the world. We're just, as Teresa had said, we're just not loud enough. So with that, I appreciate you. I thank you. And until next time, this has been an exclusive of the ME Studios. I want to give a major shout out to Rich Tomes, who is our Chief Production Officer behind the equipment. And of course, our beloved Claudia Maritza Medawi, our president, and all of our partners across the globe. Until next time, have a blessed day, everybody.
Peace. Hey everyone, it's Teresa Lawrence, the President and Executive Director of the Trueness Project. I am excited to invite you all to Jackson Hole, Wyoming on June 28th, 2025. On that date, the Trueness Project will be hosting the largest gathering of butterflies in history, human butterflies. We are all going to dress up as butterflies and go for a world record to promote world peace. The butterfly is the quintessential symbol of transformation, and that is what my nonprofit is all about. We teach transformational leadership around the world, and we are change makers. And I believe that on June 28th, 2025, a worldwide group of change makers can get together and raise the vibration of this planet. On June 28th, I invite you to join me in Jackson Hole, Wyoming in person, and to join me virtually around the world so that we may all dress up as butterflies, have a great time, and shatter a world record. Join me, be part of history. Let's make this flutter the largest flutter in history.